Good afternoon, students. I hope you are revising everything, whatever is sent to you in the forms of material, study material, written, and also in the form of these video lectures. I hope you are revising it properly, and I hope also that you are enjoying the whole process. Though you are not at school, but still, both of us, from you from your part and from our part, both the parties, both these people, we are working hard, and it is we are making it possible. Okay, so very, what should I say? A great thanks to all the students who are participating in this online platform to continue to pursue their hope, to pursue their dreams, and to continue the studies. Thanks to all of you. So now we are about to read something that deals with sports, the ultimate form of discipline. And you know what? It is sports that shows us, that also teaches us how to deal with defeat. It also teaches us that defeat is also a part of our life. This is also a part of your progress. Unless you encounter defeat, you will never learn how to deal with it and how to overcome struggles, obstacles, and prosper, make a progress, follow the sole beacon of your life, that is your dream. This is the thing that we learn from sports. So, this chapter is also chronicling some of those sports, and those sports which we have already forgotten, almost we have forgotten. Not only their memory, but also their practice is a rare incident nowadays. We don't practice a hadudu, we don't practice a kho, we don't practice kabaddi, we rarely practice kusti. So these games that had been the cynosure of a particular time, they have now lost their glory. Their glories have waned with the time. But still, these are the games which are already mentioned in some of the timeless epic called Mahabharata, Ramayana, and also those accounts written by the foreign travelers who stayed there under the patronization of some kings. They stayed in India and they chronicled whatever was happening right at that time. And their accounts includes the names of these games. So these are not mere games, these are something that defines us, that says what kind of people we are, what kind of people are the continents of India, of this subcontinent. How are they? What do they like? What kind of entertainment did they have in that time? So these are the things that defines us. Remember it. That's why it is it is the need of the hour that we preserve our history. These games are written in our history. They are mentioned. So this is a part of us. These are the things that culminates us. That is why we need to remember, we need to, sometimes if possible, we need to cherish these things. We need to encourage the growth of that kind of thing. And at the same time, we need to pass it to our coming generation. Remember it. Without the passing of knowledge, if a particular knowledge is not handed down to the next generation, the existence of that knowledge, that particular knowledge, will cease. That is why we need to learn, and at the same time we need to pass it to the coming generation so that they also cherishes the things our forefathers enjoyed. So in the introduction it is written that when we think of sports, games like cricket, Football and tennis come to mind. We rarely think of games such as kabaddi, gilli danda, and kit kit, though they have been with us for centuries and are played enthusiastically in almost every village, means with much courage. If you are performing something enthusiastically, means a lot of your willpower and courage is imbued in that action. What are these games? Where do they come from? And what do they mean to us? Let's read on. In the history of humankind, sports has always played an important role, I told you, both as a source of amusement and a means of keeping the mind and body fit. Yes, of course, this is where you feel elated. You move every single muscle, and that's how oxygen reaches at every pores of your body because you are moving your muscles. You are flowing, you are making the blood flow, you are making the blood reach at every point of your body. That's how you are keeping yourself fit. So these sports are not only something that where from we take amusement. This is something that helps us to stay fit. And if you are healthy, you can work, you can pursue your dreams. The moment your health is hindered, this will also affect your thought process. If you are having too much headache, you cannot solve even a simple math, even a simple equation of math. You can't do it. So, in order to pursue our dreams, in order to deal with intricate things, calculations and complications, in order to find out a better solution also, the thing that most important there is to keep yourself healthy and fit. In ancient India, as with many ancient civilizations, it was not enough to gain knowledge. The health and fitness of one's body was equally important. Long before India had embraced cricket and football, games such as kite flying, kabaddi, kho, to name a few, were played both by kings and commoners. So don't think that we lost those games. They are not in practice today because they were only played by some common people, but they did not receive any kind of royal patronage. No, that is wrong. Even royal people cherished and used to take enjoyment, a lot of enjoyment from these games. But that is the course of time. By and by, some of the games they attracted most sponsors, and because they attracted sponsors, they were advertised, and because people often they came across that kind of games, that kind of stars, the players, their portraits were printed on the papers. So we become more accustomed with that type of some particular types of games, and that's how our indulgence towards that game became higher, and by doing so, those games they started coming into the prominence, and they outplayed others. Okay, they went far ahead of other games that were contemporary to the particular game. Cricket, football, they are attracting sponsors. The moment you switch on the TV, you can find an advertisement of football game or the game of cricket, or of course another one is their tennis. But you seldom find an advertisement that deals with the game of kho or hockey. We won 5 times gold in Olympic, but we can barely tell any member of our national hockey team. But you can easily point out the players, not only of your own country, but also the players of the team. I mean, members of the teams of some foreign countries like Australia and New Zealand, all other, if they are playing cricket or football. You can tell the names of the football player from Argentina, from Brazil, from that is what is it called, Real Madrid. Okay, even the club football players are known to you. You have a great acquaintance with them, but still you don't know a single name of the player from our hockey team. Though we won 5 times gold in Olympic. So that's how it is the process, and it is the way the games are advertised, the way they are in attracting sponsors. And the more we are watching them, more often we are watching them actually, making us more and more aware of those games. We are finding ourselves interested in those games because they are presented in such way. And that's how we are losing the flavor of other games, because they cannot present themselves in a way that will be entertaining and attracting to the viewers. That's what is happening nowadays. These games do not boast of having sports stars like Sachin Tendulkar or MC Mary Kom, but they are immensely popular even today. Interestingly, the earliest forms of some of these games existed before the Mahabharata was written. The great, timeless, epic Mahabharata. That epic also chronicles some of the games which are not played nowadays, or they are not much celebrated as they had been right at that time. So if that epic is mentioning the names of those games, which means those games existed before that epic. Now you can imagine how old those games are, and being old, how much heritage they bear upon them. And by neglecting those things, we are actually neglecting our heritage, our history. That's the particular realization that people must have. Otherwise, this will continue to happen, and we will continue to forget our past, our glorious past, and our heritage. So that's what is generally mentioned here in the whole story. By and by, we will be reading the whole story. I gave you some introduction about the story, the theme, the matter we call sports. Later, in our next video, we will be dealing with the other parts, and we will be coming across so many information, interesting information about those games which we seldom play. And I believe we will get amazed at those information. We didn't even think about those things. You will find it later. We will discuss everything. Every single word will be read in this video mode, and every single lines will be discussed, explained. I will try my best to do it. So that's all for today, students. We will continue the chapter in our next video, next day, in the coming week. By that time, you revise it properly. And as I had told you earlier, that the moment you find any kind of the moment you find any kind of doubt, trouble to understand or infer meaning from any phrase, any sentence, any word, whatever it is, just let me know. I will try my best to make it clear for you. So that's all for today, students. Let's call it a day. We will begin, and we will continue the rest part of the story. We will come across some fascinating information later, by and by. Till then, Tata, students.